Hi folks, it's about midday on the 28th of December 2021. I've been doing a lot of preparation for videos that I'm going to be doing in the next couple of days. Over the next 4 days, you're going to see a lot of videos loaded up for me, not only about the individual sun signs and their forecasts for the year, but also about the individual planets, not all of them, but most of them, around who they're hitting, when they're hitting them, and what the likely outcomes are going to be. I don't want to get too positive or optimistic, but the majority of 2022 looks like being a hell of a lot easier than 2021 or 2020. I've just completed a set of videos for a channel who are kind enough to pay me for my content, enabling me to be able to do this type of stuff for free. And even here, I can see stuff that says that January is going to be a time where there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up from underneath. But I'll deal with that in a few days' time once we're actually into January proper and the new year has passed. As we speak, Venus in the sky retrograde is conjunct Pluto. The exact conjunction was a couple of days ago. Mercury in the sky is now just about coming into conjunction with Pluto. So we're going to start the new year with both Venus and Mars conjuncting Pluto, and this is happening now. So there's a lot of stuff beginning to surface from the underworld, a lot of stuff bubbling under, a lot of deep ploughing that's going to bring up a lot of secrets that have been suppressed or repressed over the last few years. And then as the sun hits Pluto at the time of the full moon, around the 17th, the full moon will be opposite Pluto. And then Mars hits Pluto in late February, early March. We're going to see a great deal of secrets being revealed. There's a great deal of purging and detoxing and cleansing and eliminating. And by the time we're into early March, I suspect the hardest time of next year is over. Although there is going to be a considerable blip around the first 10 days of April, but that's a one-time different story. So this next few days, well, it's the run up to the new moon. New moon? Yes, the new moon in Capricorn on the 2nd, which is relatively tame. The full moon isn't, on the 17th of January. I'm doing this really big workshop on the 30th of December. I'm looking at the history of astrology, from prehistory in the old paintings through the Sumerian, Babylonian, Assyrian forms of astrology, how the astrology developed. This is pre-zodiac times. This is just looking at the influences of the planets, how the zodiac developed around about 500 to 1000 BC, how it changed from a 15, a 16 or 8 sign zodiac to the 12 sign zodiac we use today, how it jumped into Egypt, and then the blend of Greek and Egyptian astrology became Hellenistic. I'm looking at things around Plato, Pythagoras, Ptolemy, and then the jump into Rome and how the Roman emperors used and abused astrology until the fall of Rome, at which point astrology then jumped across into North Africa, became the doctrine, if you like, of the Moorish Arabs. This is pre-Mohammedan, and gradually moved from Egypt through Libya, Tunisia, Algeria to Morocco, developing all the time, where things around the houses, the signs, and particularly the Arabic parts and the fixed stars became much more relevant. This jumped then across the water into Spain with the Moors around about 900 to 1000 AD, and was probably the start of the Renaissance, because here we see the original founding of things like the Alhambra Palace and the cathedral at Chartres. And this is the start of the true Renaissance. We're seeing the sacred geometry of the Moors coming through here. We then follow the history of astrology through the Renaissance, looking at the influence of Michelangelo, Da Vinci, people like that, Cecco d'Ascoli, Giordano Bruno, how the Inquisition really came down on astrology like a ton of bricks, how the schism in England between the emerging Protestant church and the old Catholic church had astrology at its core, how astrology was useful in the English Civil War, and then how astrology became almost abandoned by the English, and it jumped into the emerging American areas, looking at Washington, Jefferson, Franklin. And that leads us more into the sort of fairly recent times of the late 1800s with the Theosophical Society, the emergence of the astrological lodges and the faculty and the association, leading to where we are today as astrology is now back in the academy for the first time in over 400 years. So it's going to be a great workshop, and it's going to be about 2 hours, and you can find all the details for it on my website at stevejudd.co, that's DCO, not .com, or you can email me, steve@stevejudd.co. It's Thursday evening and UK time, and the next videos you'll get from me will be the forecast for the new year. It's been a hell of a year. Catch you later, world. Bye.